Well, I'm back at Wheelersburg. I've got my newly, I guess, upgraded, or I guess you could say pimped out boat, ready to go. I've just been so busy the last couple of weeks. I did all this, gosh, over a week ago and have yet to have it out on the water. So I am looking forward to getting out on the water with it, see how it fishes. I'm excited. Got my rods all in there, ready to go. So hopefully this goes well. Got my net hooked up, my rods, got my tackle caddy. Everything's ready to go. Well, come on with me and let's see what we catch. Well, I've got my camera arm hooked up to the track that I added. So that's going to be facing to the rear. So if I troll, and I do plan on trying to troll, I want to just kind of see what the camera angles are like. I've still got my hat cam on. This is that new one I actually bought that has it basically straps over my hat. It's not the one that is actually the hat, which is right here. I brought it just in case. The problem with these hats is this area where the camera sits, it just digs into your forehead. So I wanted to try one of these bands and see how the hat band works. And so far it doesn't dig as bad. So, you know, we'll see how much I like it. I've got either or. So I'm gonna head down the water here and you can just kind of watch what it's like to drive one of these stick shifts, and it's a lot of fun. So let's go catch some fish, I hope. And here we go. Okay, I'm in neutral. Let's hit it full throttle and just see what happens. adjusting the back, so I'm guessing with the second person in the back, we'll keep that motor down just a little bit better. But that's one thing I did notice when I'm driving and doing those sharp curves, that you can kind of tell the motor sometimes loses, I hate to use the word traction, but that's kind of what it feels like. So maybe somebody has a better word for it than I do. But anyway, we're getting up to the dam here, so I'm gonna keep on going. This is a lot of fun to drive. Let me get my rods hooked up here first. I'm going to go into spot lock real quick, and but they're already busting right in here, and that I've got maybe an hour and a half at most fish, so not a whole lot of time, but I just wanted to give it a try. And like I said, I already see them busting minnows, so that's a good sign. Well, let's show you everything. All right, there's my net. Got my rod. I have 4 rods out right now. That's just my life jacket. We'll throw that right there. So I think I will start out with this. I got some new Kitech, so I'm gonna give those a try. That's yum. That's Kitech right there. All right, they're more of a white, look kind of more like a silver side, so I'm kind of hoping that draws a strike or two. And that's these right here. They're called the Easy Shiner, 3-inch. Let's see how those do right now. They're busting up there. I'm going to go ahead and throw here. I just want to see how this thing fishes with all my stuff. It looks good in the water, and they're busting pretty regular right up there, so I'm gonna scoot on up a little bit. Got to watch if you come down here. I'm at the Greenup Locks and Dam again. There are some hidden rocks right in here you really got to be careful of. I didn't hit them with my trolling motor prop, but I kind of touched them a little bit. Let's see, they're busting right up in the middle here. So let me kind of get a little bit closer, and we'll put spot lock back on. Okay, so now I'm right in behind this rock pile. If I remember right, there's a fairly shallow rock right down in there, and you can kind of tell right there where there's also rocks, but they're busting right up in here. Just can't believe I'm not getting a hit. Well, so far the fishing is fine out of this thing. Kind of wondered about having my rods directly behind me, but you know, I have them like that in my kayak, so should be all right. And, you know, maybe these minnows are facing up current, and just because this is coming down current, it's too different. So let me reposition and get ahead of this and throw down toward where they're busting right in there. So if you wonder about the Terrova, I'm using my handheld controls, and these 2 arrows, you know, steer it left or right. This plus or minus is speed. I'm at 6, I think 6.5 right now. I go a little bit faster. It's pretty strong current here. And then this little propeller turns the propeller off and on when you're ready to stop. And I'm just trying to go, I'm getting up ahead of this rock formation. This is a strong current. So this is just using, instead of using the foot pedal, I am using my hand control, which is very easy to do. I have my foot pedal is hooked up so I can use it too, but I really like this hand control. And I'm just trying to get ahead of this rock formation so I can throw down and bring it up with the current. So that tells you anything how strong the spot lock is. I'll be able to spot lock this baby, which I'm about ready to do. I'll turn the motor off and I'm gonna hit spot lock. And you'll see it turn. Now there'll be a big whoosh, and it's trying to get me locked in here. So it's got me facing up current right now. And it's gonna lock me in. So now I am anchored with my trolling motor. Now I'll be able to fish out the back here and off the side and just see how, see if I can get something to bite. So if you're wondering about the Terrova, I'm telling you guys, the extra, you know, basically $2,000 I spent to get this added, worth every penny. It has made every fishing trip I've been on enjoyable. Wind, no wind, current, no current, doesn't matter. It holds me steady, and I love it. So definitely consider that if you're looking to get one of these boats. So I'm going to move this over one and get, shoot. That's the only problem with having the foot pedal on. I hit that. Let me hit spot lock again quickly. Okay. If you hit the foot pedal, it turns off spot lock. Now let's throw so it comes up current like the minnows are right now. But if you're wondering, right there's where my boat is staying. I'm staying locked on. And that's, you know, I had to do, I think, like a 8 or a 9 to get this thing up here. So it's a strong current. So if you've ever wondered how well the spot lock works with this Terrova, I can say very well. And you can see I'm still locked right on that bush. And like I said, this is a strong current. Well, let me try something different here. Maybe even a smaller profile. Something else I got are some of these little Z-Man micro finesse. So I'm going to go down to my ultralight. So let's try one of these little guys on an 1/8 ounce short shank Gamakatsu jig head, which are about my favorite ones. All right, I can't get much smaller than that for a profile. So let's see what this does. Well, let's walk down to the end of the boat. I wonder how I'll be able to do that. No problem. Of course, my rods are on the other side. Let me put this over there. All right, let's see what happens over here. Well, maybe I need to drift down a little bit, so let's go off spot lock for a second. Let me hit the spot lock. So I'm at the back of the boat. Now let me turn off spot lock. And I'll just let it drift now. Just going to drift down a little bit. So I'm just drifting with the current. You can see how I'm moving right now, moving with these rocks. All right, I'm going to hit spot lock again. Let's watch the motor. And see it re-engages. And now it says spot lock. It says spot lock there at the top. And it's re-engaged, and it should hold me right here about even with these rocks. So if you don't have spot lock, all I can say is get it. I can't imagine. Oh, there's a hit. Finally. All right, I'm still not close enough. They've moved on down a little bit. So I'm going to disengage spot lock again. So I just hit spot lock, the little anchor. I'm gonna float on down a little bit more. And you see I'm moving right now. I'm just moving with the current. My motor is just letting me drift. I'm drifting on down. Don't see any rocks or anything, which is good. And they're busting right out there, so I'm going to drift down just a little bit more. Now I'm going to hit spot lock again. You can see the motor engaged. Now it's going to just hold me right here. So I should hold pretty even with these rocks right here. I tell you, man, it's awesome. You can just fish hands free all you want. Well, I'm getting, they're busting everywhere, but not hitting on what I'm throwing. Well, the main thing I wanted to do really was just see how this would fish down here. or how my, you know, all my changes and additions would fish. So far so good. I've had no problem with the rods behind me. I'm gonna troll just a little bit just because I can. I do like the new hat band I have, or the, what do you want to call it, the head mount. It doesn't dig into my forehead like the hat does, so this is definitely much better. I want to troll a little bit and get some trolling footage just to see how all this is going to work. But I can tell you right now that having those rods behind me has not been a problem. Now, I don't have any over here. Having the net there has not been a problem. So all the modifications I made have been just fine. So now let's just troll a little bit and see how it looks when I have my camera up for trolling. That'll be my last test of the stuff I added. Shoot. There we go. Let's troll a little bit. And my kayak speed is usually about 2.5 to 2 to 2.5 miles an hour. I'm doing about 2.7 miles an hour. And well, here, let me turn this one on too. Y'all can see, so I got my rod here, my rod there. It's very wide. Of course, I can't do anything different about that. I mean, it's got to be wide. Now I'm doing 2.8 miles an hour, which is fine for me. And I usually troll a little bit slower actually, because I'm pedaling. Obviously, and I don't have to pedal this. I can just go along here. Well, this is cool. So everything I've added. Here's my tackle caddy. In fact, I can put my phone. Put my phone right there. There you go. Got a place for my phone now. My net, my rods. Got 2 rods out. So I've got a place for 6 rods. The only thing I don't have is my life jackets, which, you know, those I can actually stow in my storage areas, which is what I would normally do, but I was just in a hurry tonight. All right, we're just going along here. I can't quite tell if you can see the rods out here. I don't know what else I could do though. I have to get my lights out here in a second. Man, that sun goes down fast. It's 7 o'clock, and I just hate this time of year because you lose light. I mean, it's gonna start getting dark at, well, we'll have the time change. Yeah, something else they never can fix. We'll have the time change coming up, and it's going to get dark 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock. So my weekend fishing windows are going to be very small. I'll just have to fish, you know, I can get out early, I guess, on a Saturday or a Sunday. Well, I do definitely like having the ability to troll. And you know, you can see if I mount 2 more tracks behind me, you know, I could definitely troll another rod off the back of the boat, if not 2. You know, I think a track right there would be a good idea, and I've already got one here that I could put a rod holder. I'd have to get some more yak attack of these rod holders. I don't have any more of those, but I've got the track, so I can put a track right there, and I think and I troll at least 1 to troll straight off the back. They give me 3 rods out instead of just 2. I think that's what I'll do. And this is why I wanted to come out tonight. I wanted to be able to see how everything was going to work. I've got my fire extinguisher mounted down there. My cups, I got my sunglasses in my cup, which is nice. Got a place to put them now. I've got a place to put my phone. Yeah, I'm not using the tube jigs right now, but even my soft plastics, I can put my soft plastics in there as I go through them. Nothing's biting tonight, and that's okay. I mean, I wanted to catch something, or I'd like to, but yeah, I'm gonna mount a track right there. And I've got 2 to mount, but I'm gonna mount 1 right there. And that will give me another option to troll. And I can always take that cup off and troll there. And I'll have to get another rod holder. It's not a big deal. Well, cool. Just figuring this thing out, guys. So, listen, you know, no fish today. This is more of a, hey, is this going to work day? Because like I say, we're going to the beach next week, and I'll be gone, and so I won't be able to fish next weekend. And we had our class reunion last weekend, so I couldn't fish then. And this weekend we went to Cincinnati to see our kids. So I had this little tiny window of about from, I don't know, 5:30 to basically a little after 7 to try and fish, and that's what I did. But I just wanted to see how all the modifications would work. I love all of them. I don't have any problems. I didn't catch a fish, so let's do this. Let's reel this one in. And I just want to see how I'm gonna see how this was gonna work, this rocket tube. So if there were a fish on here, well, crap, that figures. I got crap on it, of course I do. But I would be able to put my rod right here, and that's perfect. Now I can work, well, I can do whatever I need to do right here. So I've got that rocket tube there holding it, but that's perfect. I'm able to work right there. So, all right, guys, I gotta get out of here. Let's take this off. And you know, if you made it this far, and if you're following any of this journey, I've got a lot of stuff coming out about owning a new boat. You know, now I've got it kind of modified like I want it. It's a great fishing platform. I'll give you the pros and cons on it soon as I'm learning them. And there are some cons. There's definitely some cons to it. But for me and what I want to do, a lot of pros. So if you made it this far, if I would, I'd ask you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. A lot more stuff to come. I have a lot of videos to edit. I've got so much stuff to do. But I will say for this time, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.